Hi, I'm Dave Freund from MACNY, and I'm here with Greg Sertman from Tooling U. Greg, welcome. I'm really thrilled we have this vehicle to discuss Tooling U. I think it's a powerful product. So tell us, what's Tooling U, and maybe give us a little bit of your background.
Sure. Thanks, David, and thanks for having me today. Yeah, Tooling U is an organization that started right here out of a machine shop outside of
Wow.
Cleveland, Ohio. Been around for about 20 years, and Chad Schron, the son of the owner of a machine shop here, didn't really want to work in the machine shop, and he's kind of more of a technology guy. So instead of working on grinders and lathes and mills, he decided to create online courses around milling and lathes. And
Okay.
He did a really nice job at that. And then his grandfather and father challenged him to use it to train some of their staff and then sell those courses to other machine shops in the greater Cleveland area. And
Great.
it just kind of grew from there. He created more courses, started selling more courses, started hiring more people to build more courses. And 20 years later, we were purchased by the Society of Manufacturing Engineers, a national outfit. And today we have more than 530 online courses in several different functional areas, and sell to over 5,000 manufacturers across the United States and 800 academic institutions across the country.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great. Talk about taking a need and recognizing a need and capitalizing on it and making a product that, especially today with the environment we're in here and now still 2021 with restrictions on how we can attend different things, what a powerful tool. So kind of walk us through the experience of an end user with a Tooling U class. What's it like?
Yeah, sure. So whether you're an employee at Caterpillar or you're a student at a community college, the experience is the same. It's each of the 530 courses, if you will, are modularized to about a 1 hour learning experience.
Okay.
Every learning experience starts with a pre-assessment. So let's figure out what you know right out of the gates. And so it starts with that. It's about a 10 to 14 question pre-assessment. And then it goes into the actual course, which is a series of verbal, visual, simulation, quizzes, and then it culminates into a final exam. So not only do we figure out what you knew in the front end, we're going to figure out what you know on the back end. This way we can kind of figure out the value of the difference over that 1 hour. And then we can kind of quantify what you learned over that 1 hour. Okay,
so it's online. My guess is it has, like you said, verbal. There's some instruction. There's an audio piece. My guess is there's video simulations and type of things, and then questions. Do they answer everything online?
That's correct. It's what they call an asynchronous learning environment, which means the student's on their own. There's no live instructor on the other end. So, there's pros and cons to that. Obviously, the pro to that is the level of flexibility that's involved.
Sure.
Right? Students can take courses at 2 in the morning if they choose to. And they can be anywhere they want as long as they have an internet connection. Heck, they can even take courses on their smartphone. So the level of flexibility is just unprecedented.
That's great. I'm thinking back many, many years ago, I was an apprentice toolmaker. And I knew that there were, the classes that I took seemed to be from 6 to 9 p.m., so I would work my day shift and then I would go to class at night. And so this sounds like it allows the employee to take the class perhaps even during their work day. If the foreman supervisor can break the person free for an hour, they wouldn't have to leave home, so to speak, at night for the class. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Great. Wow. Man, I wish I had that 30 some years ago when I was taking some of those classes. So what control does the company have? What do the administrative controls look like for the programs?
Yeah, there is very high level of administrative controls that the organization will have to be able to know how their apprentices or just, their employees are performing, from, how are they scoring on their pre-assessments? How long are they spending in each of the classes? Are they completing the classes? How are they scoring on their final exams? How are they progressing over time? For example, if they're an apprentice and they're supposed to be finishing, 7, 8, 9 classes a month, how are they progressing towards that? As an HR manager or a plant manager, you'll be able to kind of oversee that at any point in time and go into, we call it administrative center, and see that for any of your employees.
Super. Wow, that's really great. What are some common areas that people are taking classes in?
Yeah, so as far as our content goes, the most common areas, or where we have the most content for, are around machinists, industrial maintenance technicians, welders, and then some areas that I would say are up and coming, where we're starting to build a lot more, create a lot more content for right now, are robotics and automation technicians. A lot of areas where folks are calling Industry 4.0 or smart manufacturing right now. We have a team of 25 to 30 designers and developers who wake up every day and build new content.
Wow.
And, that's the area of focus right now with what's going on in the world with automation and robotics.
Okay, that's super exciting. Can't wait to see that. Give me an example. So I'm a CNC machinist apprentice. What kind of classes can I take through Tooling U?
Yeah, several courses around safety, foundational, measurement, inspection, several courses specific to lathes, mills, programming.
Wow, so it's really the whole gamut of the classes that I might need.
Yeah, as I'm going off memory here, but there's around 160 to 170 courses.
Wow.
That would be appropriate for a 4-year apprentice in CNC machining.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing.
Now you may not take all of them depending on the specific type of apprentice that you're pursuing, but that approximately that's about that much content could be available to you.
Okay, great. New York State. So if I am a New York State certified apprentice, does New York State's apprentice group accept Tooling U as a viable class?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been approved for several different apprenticeable roles, including the CNC machinist. And what that means is that an apprentice can choose a blend of our online courses and instructor-led learning experiences to add up to the required number of what they call RTI, related technical instruction. And so the employer is involved in deciding on what that mix is. And that's a good point. Maybe a good time to talk about how that employer is involved too, because I don't want to be here to tell you that online training should take up all of the RTI hours. We're an online training company, and I'm here to tell you that the time that you spend instructor-led, seeing the machine, touching the machine, smelling the machine is invaluable, and we don't want to totally replace that. But there's a very high number of hours that is required for an apprentice, and there is some of that time where a lot of theory and concepts that need to be understood. A lot of that type of learning is can be accomplished online, and then a lot of it is can be accomplished instructor-led. So there's that right blend, if you will.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of people call it blended. A lot of people call it hybrid. And especially when you look at millennials and younger, they're kind of they have a level of expectation around hybrid learning these days.
They do.
It's kind of our job to provide these hybrid learning experiences
Great.
So
Thank you. And I don't want this to be too heavily apprentice focused. And I realize I took our questions that way, but really this is for any employees. If you're covering things like safety and basic measurement, those are things that almost all of our manufacturers could find a use for their general population, not just their apprentice, the apprentices working within their organization. So if somebody wants more information, how do they get it? Who should they talk to?
they should talk to Lori and Eileen at MACNY.
Okay,
Uh,
great.
they are specialists that can have discussions with manufacturers about their specific needs. And I know we did talk a lot about apprentices, but manufacturers have a lot more non-apprentices than they do apprentices. And that's another great thing about the Tooling U courses. They're very modularized, which means that you can literally cherry pick a lot of those, 537 classes and say, hey, maybe I only have 3 employees that need to learn a little bit about inspection and GD&T and a little bit about safety. So I'm going to just cherry pick these 10 classes
Great.
that I need these 7 employees to learn a little bit more about. And I'm going to create a little custom package here. And I'm just going to go with that. And I need them to learn this over a period of, say, 30, 60 days.
Sure. Awesome. That's super exciting. And I'll make sure that even in the description of this video, there's a link to Lori and Eileen's contact information. Greg, thank you so much. I look forward to having some more conversations with you in the time to come, specifically maybe drilling down into some different details about it. But thanks so much. Any closing comments you think we should talk about?
No, all I'll say is that we're really excited about this new partnership with MACNY and making all these different services available to the manufacturers across the MACNY service area. In a time that we're in right now with COVID, where all these new constraints are being put on manufacturers about what we can do, how we can do it, there's got to be an increased level of flexibility on these manufacturers on how they're able to get things done. And I think this relationship provides manufacturers with just another option on how they're able to develop their employees over time in lots of different areas. So sure. I'm really excited about that. And I encourage, for you manufacturers who are listening, give Eileen and Lori a call just to explore options. You'd be surprised about the different types of things you'll be able to get your employees trained on in a very flexible and cost-efficient way.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time today. Have a great day, Greg.
Thank you, David.